Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Honey Badger Hour podcast. It's your boy, the Badger, and we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe on the little notification bell below to keep you up to date whenever we have new podcast episodes, breakdowns, and reactions. And welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We are live from Wollongong, Australia at Freestyle MMA, and I am joined today by the one and only Colby Thicknesse. Yes, sir. What's happening, my brother?
In God's country at the moment, mate.
In God's
as you would know.
Yes, sir.
Hard training this morning, followed by good feed, good coffee, so no complaints.
Hey, life is good, man. Hell yeah, brother. Colby, so you're one of the guys I've been wanting to have on the podcast for a long time, all right? We've known each other for quite some time, or maybe not known each other, but known of each other for a long time.
Definitely.
You've been training here at Freestyle Fighting under Joe Lopez, training partner for Volkanovski since what? Since you were like a young
13,
kid, huh?
yeah, 13. I walked in there.
13 years old, you came into this gym.
Yeah.
And Volk and all the boys were already getting after it, right?
Volk was 2-0 when I first came here. I remember my first conversation with him was talking about, he was fighting Corey Nelson. And he was like, yeah, my opponent pulled out, they switched us around, I'm fighting the like number one pound for pound guy. And that was just before Volk's first loss, actually. So that's like when he was fighting at 77, that was like the time frame I came into this building.
Wow. When he was already massive.
Thick
Super Volk.
Yeah, footy Volk.
Oh my gosh. So you've been in the game right here. You've been in the game since you were a young kid training martial arts, right?
Yeah. So I started wrestling just 5 minutes down the road at a PCYC, doing 2 days a week doing that since I was probably 5 or 6. Then I was playing like NRL, rugby league, same time, doing both of them sports up until about 13. And then I was just too small for footy, and I fell out of love with wrestling. And my twin was actually training there before me. It was like a yellow belt in like Joe's kids program or whatnot. Then I came here for a class. I was like, this is funner than both of them sports. So I just dove straight into this.
No, so you got a twin?
I got a twin, yes.
It's identical or like?
So we're fraternal, but we look pretty similar. He's like evil Bart Simpson. Yes. Yeah.
And he started training first.
He started training here first, yeah. So we wrestled everything together. Then he got sick of wrestling before I did. So then he came here while I was still wrestling.
Oh, that happens a lot, right? I see that in MMA. Like a lot of times you have like two guys, they join together.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy who brought his friend stops and then the friend keeps going. I see this a lot, you know?
Yes, he was training up until we were about 15, 16. But then he obviously discovered house parties and girls and drinking. So it was just like separate paths.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you start training really young, it's like, you can't get too excited about when you're a coach and you have like a young guy coming up when they're like 15, 16, 17, you're like, bro, I hope this guy can get through because if they get some pussy, you know what I'm saying? They get a taste of that tang, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, or if they smoke some weed or they drink some beer, you can see the trajectory.
Enjoy hanging out with the boys a bit too much.
Yeah, because when you're a kid, sometimes, life, you don't really see the future, right? So you're only seeing like a few days ahead. You're
Next
not really
Friday night, what's going on?
Yes, exactly, And once you get a taste of that good life, I feel like that's the name of the game for young kids, trying to keep them, especially when they're training martial arts in the beginning, like to keep them on that path, like not to get distracted when because bro, we live in a world full of distractions today. That's the thing, right?
Legit, it was funny. I was actually talking to one of the boys just after this morning session because he listened to a biography I did. And we were talking about that path, like I had never had that like temptation because I was like, if I go out and get drunk Friday, I've got to spar here Saturday. And if I spar shit, Joe's gonna be like, why are you sparring shit? I'm like, oh, when I got drunk last night. He's like, why are you doing this? So it's like always that overlooming thing, like, oh, don't do anything dumb. Just stick to training.
It's so good, and it keeps you accountable too.
Yes, exactly.
That's so good. That's actually what's so good about having Saturday morning sessions, right?
Yes.
You want to have your hardest session. Actually, as a coach, that's the way to go for guys up and coming. If you're a coach, make your hardest session Saturday morning to keep your boys in line for Friday. Because if you got to wake up early on Saturday, you're gonna be tempted to go out that Friday night.
I've done that a couple of times where I went out. This is when I was doing amateur. I'd do out to like 3 a.m. get the snack pack, come in and spa. It's always ended up with me throwing up in the toilet. Yeah. I was like, this isn't for me. This isn't worth it.
So after you finished, so once you realized you were a little bit too small for NRL, it's like, all right, let me get into the martial arts game, right?
Yep.
Oh, so you were already wrestling, so you had like a decent wrestling base?
Yeah. So like Australian wrestling's super small of a scene, obviously. So I won for like states and nationals and things like that. But that being said, there was like 3 or 4 kids sort of thing. So it wasn't very popular. So it was good for me to have a base in that, but it wasn't like at like an extremely high level. It was just good to get me in a martial arts sort of thing as well as the football.
Yeah, for sure. So when did you know, like when you started training, like after how long training did you know like, oh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Oh, honestly, probably when I was like 6 or 7, I was like, I just want to do something athletic. Like pretty much as soon as I started even primary school, like it just wasn't my vibe. Like I'm not very good at just sitting down for an hour, just writing notes and going to the next class, rinse and repeat. Like I'm very fidgety. I just get bored. I need that constant challenges and stimulation sort of thing. So it was pretty much as soon as I was in, I was like, I know I can't do the normal side of work. And then I was like, I enjoy being athletic. So I was like, why not just try and make a sport career out of it? And then so it was originally going to be football. Yeah. I just didn't grow. So then I was like, maybe it's wrestling. I fell in love with wrestling. And I came in, I was like, I'll just fight, watch some UFC videos. I was like, I can probably do that when I'm older, and just sort of just stuck to it since a young age.
Wow, so when you came in, you started training in this gym, this facility, right?
Yes, correct, yeah. So when I remember first time I walked in, I knew someone who was who was training here. I knew his son. And then so this whole cage used to be, this used to be the waiting room. So I remember I came in like super awkward, timid. Sebastian, he let me in, introduced me to everybody. That's when I had my first conversation with Volk. I started just doing the jiu-jitsu classes here too. I was about 15, 16. I was doing heaps of jiu-jitsu comps as well, which I had an advantage because I was a white belt, but I wrestled since I was a kid. Yeah. So I had like no submissions, but I just would grab everyone and just hold them down. I got DQ'd a couple of times for slamming kids and making them cry and that. But yeah, pretty much as soon as I walked in there, I was dedicated. I'd finish school and I'd just come here Monday to Friday, come here on a Saturday morning and just train.
That's awesome, and it doesn't harm having the greatest featherweight of all time as your training partner.
Exactly right.
So you guys been training together for the last, 15, 10 years or so, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. So I remember I would have just been a blue belt, sort of been about 16, and then it would me, Joe and Volk would drive up to Bernardo Treco's, and he used to be at TP Gym, and then I would go up. I'd do an hour of grappling before, then I'd watch him spar. And it was like Richie Vass, Rob Whittaker, Volker, and a couple of other Aussie dudes like on the scene at that time. So I'd get to grapple with like Treco, who's a 5th or 6th dan black belt, and then have some grappling with Joe. And I just get to sit, and I was like 16 years old watching like 2 future UFC champions spar and things like that.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know that. So Volk used to train with Whittaker. Volk and Whittaker used to get on before
when Whittaker was at TPG under Treco. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they,
awesome.
Not heaps, but yeah, a couple, like there was a fair few Saturdays I'd go up, it would either like 8:30 to 9:30, I'd do the wrestling or grappling class before. Then me and my dad would just hang around and just watch these guys. And I think maybe Rob just finished the Ultimate Fighter and was in UFC, and Volk wasn't in there yet, and you could see him doing rounds, and it's like you look at where they've come from that point.
That's amazing, man. And back then Australian MMA wasn't too big of a thing, right? It wasn't. You didn't have any champions, right? And still kind of learning the game, right? Learning the wrestling, the submissions, So you had a bunch of Brazilians here, so you guys already had the decent jiu-jitsu,
Yep.
And also, I guess, the striking, how was the striking like?
It was good. We obviously had Joe as the head coach running over striking that. Then we had another dude, Bill Corbett, who's a very well-respected boxing coach in here and that. But then it was just, I think what Joe did really well was he's like, we don't have to be the best at one discipline. We can just be good everywhere. And just, as you see Alex's style is, he's like, all right, I'm going to punch you. Now I'm going to take you down. Now I'm going to ground and pound you. If you want to get back up, I'm just going to mix everything up on you and that. So I think it was good not trying to be that. Because you see, obviously, early UFC was just like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. They went to kick, and it constantly sort of sways where Joe's like, just be good everywhere and just be able to mix it up on them, and it's probably going to be a much better advantage for you.
Yes, that's very true. And I noticed that a lot of the guys from here, and that's one of Volk's main specialties, is like Volk is a master of MMA.
Yes, exactly.
He's like ground and pound, MMA wrestling, MMA striking, like it's that range, the MMA range, where a lot of guys, they might train a little bit not backwards, but you just don't know better, right? So you think, okay, it's MMA, so you go to your jiu-jitsu class in the morning, and then you go to boxing class at night, and then a lot of guys wouldn't even do wrestling because they think they were doing jiu-jitsu, right? And then that's why a lot of guys would train for a long time, or they'll just do a lot of grappling and spar. I remember back in the day, that was kind of like MMA training. Yeah. Do jiu-jitsu and spar every Friday. Yeah. And then you're doing MMA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
But that's good that since the very beginning, you've had Joe Lopez kind of instill that freestyle, like literally freestyle MMA. Exactly, like, we're going to be everything, we're hybrid fighters, Kind of like that new breed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, if you look at what Volk was doing, even with his early UFC fights where he would just take people down and ground and pound, I'm like, he was very good at mixing up his kickboxing ability. Like when he first got signed, everybody just used to call him like the 45 Khabib and that. Could just take people down and like, it's not that he didn't have all these striking tools then, it was just he was just able to take people down and they just couldn't get up from him. Yeah. And then once people realized all right, we can do all this and we'll get up, he's like, all right, I'm just going to keep bashing you at my feet.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, 100%, man. And then and working submissions and stuff like this, like, and why are you gonna strike if you can take a guy down and hold him? You know, like
exactly right.
The path of least resistance. You know.
Yep.
Sometimes people watch fights like, oh, why is this guy? This is just boring. It's taking down. It's like, nah, bro. Like,
get in there and do it.
Yeah. It's like,
you get
listen,
punched
bro,
in the face.
if you can't defend a double leg, I'm gonna take you down,
exactly
bro.
right.
And if you can't get up, that's your problem.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna punch you in the face and just get up each round and be like, sweat, I cop no damage again. This is great.
A lot of times with the egos, people, I just want to put on a show. You know what I mean? It's like when you hear somebody say that, you're like, oh, that's kind of like the wrong way to. You know, I guess you do want to put on a show, but you know,
winning's nice too.
Yeah. You got to say winning overall, winning number one, you know, by any means possible.
Exactly.
And you got to be true to yourself. Because a lot of times guys maybe get away from who they are. Or like, I know like with me, like I got a knockout and then I kind of forgot that I was a grappler and I was always trying to strike all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you start chasing that high, you know. But
fall in love with your hands.
Yeah, man, for sure. So coming up, how was it like coming up in the Australian scene? You always fought at bantamweight, or would you?
In amateur or in pro, I normally do bantamweight. I had my first fight when I was 18 as an amateur, and then I went 3-0 at bantamweight, and then I couldn't find any fights at bantamweight, so then I took a short notice fight at 66. That was my first amateur loss, and then I think 3 or 4 months after that, I bounced back at bantamweight. Then I had the 2 more bantamweights fight, so I went to 5-1, picked up a title doing that, and then I did that IMAF tournament. And that was at 66, so I ended up going up to the Gold Coast and I did like 3 fights in the 3 days. And I won gold in that, so that took my amateur record to 8-1 and I went pro after that.
Yo, so you have the IFMA, a gold medal in those?
Yes,
those are huge, man.
Yeah,
those are tough ass tournaments,
They are,
bro.
yeah, it was funny. I got stitched up because I did it at 66, which was fine, but I had a knee burster. Like I ruptured this, like a sac of fluid on my knee burster, so I had like an extra tit on my knee going into it. And then so the brackets got put out, and normally it's 8, but there was 7 of us. So I was the last seed. So how it goes off your seeding, and because I never did it before, so I came in, I had first fight, and then I fought the dude who came 3rd at the Worlds the year before. So then we fought. I beat him 3rd round TKO in like a tough fight. And then he was the first seed. Then, because the 2nd seed, they gave him a bye. So then my second day, I had my second fight. I fought a guy fresh who didn't fight the first day. So I went from the hardest fight into a fresh guy. And then I beat him decision like 3 rounds to 0. And then on the 3rd day, I had to fight someone who had 2 fights before me. So mentally, I'm like, if I win the second fight, like I'm gonna win the final. Like I can beat a fresh guy after I fought yesterday and cut weight. Like this dude is done the same as me. I'm gonna run through him.
So wait, but what about the weight? You have to make weight every day?
Every day. So I had to, it was.
So that's why you did featherweight,
yeah,
right?
so I was 65. So first day was easy because obviously I think first fight was on a Friday. So I weighed in Friday and then we weighed in at 6 and then I would normally fight around 10 or 11. So I'd weigh in at featherweight, I'd eat and drink to refuel. I'd fight, I'd rehydrate till 2, then I'd stop eating and drinking at 2, and I'd get in the sauna at 8, and I'd cut weight that night, wake up next morning. So I had the fight, and before the final, I think I was, not much, but I was like 69 kilos, so I had to lose like 3.2 kilos after having 2 fights just to fight in the final the next day.
Oh my God, and you doing sauna? How are you getting it off?
Just sauna. I ended up just put in,
Jesus.
yeah, we had nothing else. I just sauna, I had trackies and that, and then I just sat in the sauna for a couple hours.
So what did you eat after your fight? Did you eat?
I did, but I had to keep it low residue because obviously I can't have big meals because it'll weigh me down. So honest to God, I pretty much lived off energy gels, energy tablets, and like Cliff Bars for just 3 days.
Oh man! And the first day you had a hard ass fight.
Hard ass fight, yeah.
third round TKO. And
Yeah.
what do you felt? How'd you feel when you woke up the next day?
My hands were busted. I had a black
100%,
eye.
bro.
Yeah,
This is crazy,
Yeah, I was
yo.
sore as.
Maybe you were better off doing 3 in one night, bro. Than
I
every
think
other,
so, because
right?
yeah, I was eating like 8 anti-inflammatories a night, just trying to take in Panadol and everything, just trying to just do whatever I could to recover.
Wow, it's crazy that for the amateur, and that's for free, right? There's no money. Do
I
you
had
get
to
a
pay.
prize?
I had to pay to go up there.
That's what I'm saying, dog. You're paying to fight 3
I lost
days
money
in a row,
doing that.
dog. That's
Yeah.
harder than any pros.
Yes.
That's a crazy experience because, man,
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, listen, I know amateurs 3 threes. It was shinies, right? At least shin pads.
But it was like for the
They got the
super
soft
thin
shin
ones.
pads, yeah.
So like all it is, so it doesn't cut you as much. But you caught one leg kick, like it still hurts.
It's like those Taekwondo shin pads.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, if you guys ever see somebody with those cloth shin pads in sparring, just get ready, bro.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
your fucking hands up. He's gonna throw some spinning
Exactly
shit. You know?
right. Yeah, spot on.
I hate those guys, bro. And anytime I see one of those
Yeah.
shin pads in the gym, I'm just like,
I
all right.
yell at them. I'm like, they're not shin pads.
Nah, bro,
It's a
they're
piece
fucking
of cloth
socks.
over. And you're
Yeah.
gonna kick me harder, and it's gonna cork me probably.
Wow. So 3 fights, 3 days. So you finished Sunday. What
Yeah.
time were the fights? Like mid-afternoon around, or?
Oh, around 10 or 11, because it would go, because it was, so I'd
10,
weigh in
11
at
at
6.
night?
Nah, AM. So I'd weigh in at 6 AM and have 4 or 5 hours where I fought. Because it would go by divisions. So it would go like flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, up like that. And because I was adult when I did it sort of thing, but yeah, just off the division, so it was always earlier. So I was like, less time to rehydrate, so I was pretty much dehydrated for every single fight, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And that was like your last amateur bout, and you went to the pros,
yeah,
right?
that was March of 2020, I'm pretty sure. And I was planning to go pro straight after that, but then obviously Rona hit, and that sort of threw a massive spanner in the works there.
That was right before your pro debut.
Yeah,
bro.
so I remember because I did the 3 fights, and Volk and Joe were over watching the UFC. They were at the UFC for some event, because I remember I phone called Joe after each of my fights. And then they came back, and they were talking about how they just got back in time before they weren't allowed to come back from America into Australia. I think they beat it by maybe like 12 or 24 hours sort of thing.
Oh, what was Volk doing then? That was pandemic, so he was already the champ.
I think so, yeah.
Wow, so Volk's been the champ your whole pro career up to the UFC.
Yes, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
This cuz been the champ a long time.
A long time,
dog.
yes. He has.
I don't even remember that.
Yes.
Bro, that's
Fucking
crazy,
wild,
bro.
hey. Yeah.
You made it all the way through, man.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, yo. Yeah, so pandemic, how many careers got fucked up from the pandemic?
Bro, so
People
many.
who couldn't fight 2
Yeah.
years,
yeah.
you know?
I was lucky because I was 2020. I was 20 at the time. So I was like, all right, I've had my amateur career. I'm just turning pro. I honestly thought, 6 months, world back to normal. I'll fight end of the year sort of thing. You got guys on that cusp like 30, and they need 3 fights before they can get there, and then it ended up being like 18, 24 months before things actually got back to normal. Yeah. Fucking killed it.
How long, man, Australia must have been, it was pretty bad here with the lockdowns and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was real cooked. Yeah, it was super strict. We were fortunate enough that for Volk's camps during that, we got the exemptions. But,
we did?
Yeah, but then we had to have these letters for when we're traveling to the gym. Like, sounds so stupid now. We had to have sheets over here so no one could see us training. We had to get COVID tested twice a week, I think. Like, it was wild what we had to do just to train.
That's crazy. And then Volk had to fight in he had to do a few fights. Man, a lot of his
COVID camps,
title fights were COVID camps, bro.
Even the Max second one.
That was fucked. I
remember. I think it was like
most
6
fucked one.
weeks notice. He went from doing like kettlebell workouts on fucking Zoom with Chris Jaffrey and that through S&C to stay busy to now he has to come fight in 6 weeks against Holloway.
And he fought Holloway in that goddamn empty arena and shit. You ever done any of those? You ever done any of those COVID empty fights?
I haven't fought there, but I was there for them. So when we went and did the Ultimate Fighter, I was over there for a couple of Apex ones.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay, so you would watch, right?
Yep.
But you never fought in the empty arenas,
No,
right?
I would hate it.
That shit sucks.
I would hate it.
You're like, yo,
I
what is
love a
going on here?
vibe when I walk out to a big techno track. I love good energy and good vibes to pump me up.
Man.
Walk out to fucking crickets, I think I'll be miserable.
It's so bad. I fought in ONE FC, and my last fight was during the pandemic era. And it was fucked. And I remember like they pre-recorded like 25 fights in one day, and we fought in an arena, so it was like an empty arena. So you just walk around an empty arena, and then like the punch is like, it's just like, yo, am I fighting right now? You know? And then it's like, you don't even know if it's real. You know what I'm saying? And I remember they didn't air my fight till like 3 weeks later, so it's like
really?
I lost twice.
Could
Like
you bet on it?
I lost, I had to sign an NDA.
Oh no, okay.
So then nobody knew I fought.
Yeah.
And then like 3 weeks later, I lost again. And once I got over it, people were like messaging me, yeah, I just saw your fight, you all right? I was like, I've been over that shit.
Yeah, don't bring it back up.
Yeah. But that was a wild era, man. That was crazy times, right? We almost forget how, that was not too long ago.
Bro, it was crazy because we went over there for when Volk was meant to fight Ortega originally. And then
he got COVID, right? Or Brad or somebody got COVID,
yeah,
right?
bro, but COVID whole situation happened, so then that got cancelled, and then Volk got super sick from it. Like 5 of us got it. I think it was me, Geordie, Volk, Mike Engrove. Maybe that was it. I feel like there was one more. I think Jeff and that got it too though. And then so we just got ushered. It was so funny that like I talk about it now. So we got to America and we got to like they had 2 hotels. Hotel A's for like general public. You get tested, I think, when you get there, then you get tested before you go in for your fight week. So we got tested twice, negative, then you get put into like they had the bubble, like the fence around residents in and everything, then we're in there. And then someone popped in there and they're like, all right, go back to the public hotel. Don't tell anyone you got COVID, but you could do what you want. So I think I was 21, I was in Vegas, had COVID, I felt fine. And I'm like, and they're like, stay here, but there was no security. So I could go walk out on a strip if I wanted to. And then Joe, Brad and everything would like do walks on the other side of the yard. And they're stuck there, security, watch them walk in. And they're all like fine and healthy. And we're the sick ones. They're like, oh, just do whatever you want. And sick. And all the healthy ones that just stay in the thing. It was fucking such bizarre times.
Hey, how good? So you did the training camp with the boys. How did you like the Ultimate Fighter experience? How was that?
That was so good. I was so fortunate because I remember when I went over to America, my parents were like, you've got travel insurance, but it won't cover you from COVID. So if you get COVID, you got to be careful. So then I walked over there and then I had to do that dreaded phone call. Like, Mom, Dad, like it's happened. And they're like, fuck. And then we're like panicking how I'm going to get back. And so how that came about was we all had it. And then Joe left straight away because the fight referee was like, fuck this. I'm going to go back to Australia because you have to do a 2-week quarantine here.
I did that too.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he did his 2 weeks. And then I think the day before he got out of the 2 weeks, UFC rang Volk and we're like, hey, do you want to do Ultimate Fighter? So the only reason I stayed in America because I was negative that time was we thought Volk was going to get rematched in like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So like Volk shouldn't be 2 weeks by himself in a hotel. So I was going to go back with him, share the hotel, and that way we can train together, like restart camp sort of thing. And then I think I was going to head back in a couple of days or something. And Volk's like, oh, he just asked, like, do you want to stay? I was like, oh, stay with what? He's like, oh, they offered Ultimate Fighter. I was like, oh, do you care? He's like, no. I'm like, stay with us for it. So now I just got to stay an extra like 2 months in Vegas at like 21 and be a part of the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. And you hadn't had pros yet? Or did you go pro debut? Or did you maybe had a few?
I'm trying to think. I think I might have been maybe 2-0 at that time as a pro. Yeah.
Hey, but you got to get the UFC feel,
yes,
training
exactly.
with UFC guys.
Training of Apex, the PI,
There's
everything.
some good guys in that, and you had some good training partners in
that.
that.
Yeah, well, it was bantamweight, so it was my division. So it was bantamweight and middleweight, so it was perfect.
And you can get a feel, and then you're like, okay, now you know the level. You're like,
you know
what I'm saying?
So I was sparring them, and I was like,
that was amazing, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm fucking. It's good too. It was like positive reinforcement because, like, you know, it's like if you would have trained in Volk in Thailand, you're like, what am I doing with my life in this sport? But then you go with other people, and you're like, I've got something here. I'm not as bad as I thought I was.
That's one of my jokes. I'm like, oh, I learned a lot training with the UFC champion, bro. I was like, one of the things I learned is like, oh, you ain't gonna be the champ, son. But then you realize, oh, he's just a fucking anomaly of a human
He's an outlier
being,
here.
bro.
Yeah, I spot other good people. I'm like, oh, I'm actually not bad at this sport. I go, all right.
Yeah, other guys have necks.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
like, oh, it's nice to train with somebody who has a neck and legs.
Exactly right.
Grabbable legs, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's so funny, bro. But listen, what a blessing it was for you to have that look from the very beginning.
Exactly.
You only know the best ever.
Yeah, exactly too. I'm very fortunate because like everything I've learned is just like my work ethic and everything just comes from watching him.
Yeah, man.
Just a young kid just being raised in his gym. Was like Joe's yelling at Volk on the bike, whatever, to go as hard as he can. I'm like, all right, well, if I want to be like him, I should just do what he does. So I'm very lucky to have person A had what I want and got there. So I just follow him.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's right in front of me.
It's so good because, man, how many guys, like, sometimes, you know, how many people train wrong for like 10 years and then they go to a good gym, but they're like, fuck. Or, you know, a lot of guys, they go to a gym, they're just sparring all the time, getting knocked out a bunch of times, you know, like 4 or 5 years. You know, now the guy's 5 years, still sucks, and he's a little bit chinny, and a little bit concussed.
Left
and
it all in
punch
the
drunk,
gym. Exactly.
And then leave, you know, so. Yeah, that's so, thinking about that, like how lucky people are, like when just, you never know what gym you're going to walk into.
Honestly, yeah.
You know?
Honestly,
you
yeah.
could have walked into any other place down the street and then boom. Oh man, that's amazing, bro. Yeah, training with Volk, getting those looks, and then fighting these guys after with the training camp with him, had to be light work, bro.
Honestly, I remember when I was doing the tournaments, the 3 fights in 3 days, because Joel and that weren't there, I was like, in my head, I was like, well, I don't have to fight Volk, so this is probably going to be easier than my Saturday sparring. And that was just like my mindset. I was like, it's like I spar with like the best guys in the world. So I was like, from the division above. So I'm like, just go out and fight and you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And when did you get your black belt? You got your black belt?
I got my black belt when I just got my first Dan. So I think I would have got my black belt when I was 23.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, 23, 22,
Beautiful,
23, I
man.
think, yeah.
And training with Craig Jones now? And then,
Yes.
so you met Craig Jones in the Ultimate Fighter with
Yes,
Volk.
yeah, exactly.
So you got to get on good with him too.
Yeah, man, it was, bro.
Hold on a second,
Get on good?
So you walk into a gym and he just happened to have the greatest fucking featherweight of all time. training. We don't know yet, but you know, he's obviously
he's there.
But if you trained with him, you would know.
Yeah.
Like people don't know, like the people who didn't know Volk didn't know, but anybody who's trained with Volk in the first, before the UFC, you're like, oh, that's the one.
Yeah, he's the
I used to
guy.
think like this is like Neo from the Matrix. I told
Yes.
my dad the same thing. I called my dad like a long time ago. I remember after training with Volk, I said, Dad, I'm training with this guy. I'm telling you, this is the one. He's gonna be a champ in a couple of years. Just watch, and boom.
He was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, you just roll into one of the greatest jiu-jitsu minds in the game, bro.
Yeah.
Because Craig is like a freaking, man, I love chopping jiu-jitsu with him. It's like he loves it.
so switched on with it.
He's so switched on and articulate, and the way he can break down moves. So you've had some really good looks coming in to set you up for the future.
So for like 8 weeks, would wake up, would go to the UFC PI to train. And then we'd go to the PI, and then the session would be me, Volk, Craig, Frankie, Joe, and Woody. And then we'll do that, do a recovery ice bath, sauna, go across to the Apex. Then I'm training with the Ultimate Fighter Bantamweights and that. Then we'd go back, do another session, coach them, and then have the afternoon off. So I was like 21 at that time, and just like the looks you'll get in at that is like fucking unbelievable.
That's unreal. Yeah. And now, fast forward a few years later, when you get that contract, was this short notice? I forgot, right?
It was, yes. Right? Yeah, so it's funny.
You wait your whole life and then short notice. Fuck, you were ready, or how you feeling for
Yeah,
that
so we knew the UFC were coming to Sydney because obviously they announced it, and there was a bantamweight fight. So Joe's like, I want you to do a camp just in case to be ready. And it was very lucky we did it. And so I think I was 4 weeks into the camp, and the fight was on February, but I had a title fight booked for, I think, the end of March or start of April. So it ended up, if I wouldn't have got the UFC fight, it would have been like a 16-week camp. So you see how hard we were. So I was 4 or 5 weeks into the camp, and then my body was run down and like just fatigued. So I had to fight in Sydney, which I didn't know, but if I did, like it would have been a good timing. But I say this because I stitched myself up before I got the call up. So it was a Saturday I sparred the week before I got the call, and I was just feeling it bad. And I was like, fuck, I'm now 9 weeks out from my title fight. So I've got to go into like my 5-5 spiders and that. And my body's, I was like, so I'm like, my weight's low. I was like 69 kilos, like 9 weeks out from a title fight at 61. So I ended up just eating like as much as I could, trying to rest and recover a bit more. So it wasn't much, but I got back to
you're like overtrained.
Exactly right.
So you're like, I need to get my body back.
I mean, like 3,500, 4,000 calories a day, just filling myself up with carbs and water and that. I came in and sparred that Saturday, and like it just wasn't a good sparring day. Like I remember I chucked my headgear. I was like, fuck, I hate the sport. Why am I doing this in my life? I'm doing all this hard work, this camp, nothing's gonna happen. Had to go to a security shift. I think it was 12 till 10, just like static. I just had to watch the school was broken into, and then I was sad because of sparring, so I ended up Uber Eats, and I got like a massive Mexican burrito for lunch. Got a Subway, like a thick shake for dinner, and it was like 10 p.m. I'm like, oh, like I'm so full in this. And I get an Instagram DM and like a message request I just saw when I was bored, and it was his name's Orion. I click on his, and he's like, hey, how are you? Are you free? And I click on his profile, and he's got like blue tick, like 80K followers, and he's like with the Taporas and shit. And I was like, fucking no way. And I was like, I'm good, what's up? He's like, what's your WhatsApp? I want to ring you. I just gave him my WhatsApp. I'm like, I think I know what this is going to be. And he rings me, he's folding laundry. He's like, hey, I think you know who I am. I'm like, yeah, you manage the Taporas. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, so between us, Cody Haddon, Alexandre Tapora's out. He broke his foot. He's like, are you ready to fight? And I was like, I'll fight. He's like, sweet. He's like, do you have management who can get contact in UFC? I was like, yes, I do. He's like, I can't directly put you in contact because we can't really say, hey, he's out, we found this person. You have to like go around it another way. And he said, do you have any contacts? I was like, yeah, I do. I'm like, my coach is Joe Lopez, Volk's coach. Like, we ring them. And then, so that was around 10 p.m. And then Joe and Volk were in New Zealand. So it would have been 2 hours later, so or close to midnight there. So I messaged Joe on WhatsApp. I'm like, hey, Joe, sorry to bother you, but are you awake? And he's like, yes. So I just rang him straight away. And like halfway through a call, I told him what happened. I'm like, oh, so Tapura's manager reached out to me. Cody Haddon's out. They're looking for a replacement. Just a heads up, if we can put my name in, I can probably get the shot for it. And then as I'm saying that, Volk's like, I've already messaged Sean Shelby, like in the background yelling about it. So then I went home, I messaged my dietitian straight away. He's like, hey, what's your weight? I jumped in the scales, I was like 73 kilos. I'm like, I'm 70 kilos. He's like, okay, good, you can make it. I don't want you any heavier. So I had to lie to him because I didn't want to tell him how much I actually weighed. I'm like, wait in my head, I'm like 3 kilos, double Uber Eats, like haven't moved in a car. Yeah, like it'll float. Yeah, so I had a sauna that night. I came into the gym like 6 a.m. the next morning, jumped on a scale, and I was actually 70 kilos. I was like, all right, sweet, I can make the weight. Like, it'll be tough, but I can do it. And then...
Wait, how many weeks though we're talking?
So it was Saturday, and it was 2 weeks, like 12 days later.
I know, 155, because I used to fight at 61. I know, dog.
Yeah, bro, yeah. So, but then I already dropped like an extra, when they called me, I would have been like 162s probably when they called me for it. Yeah, and then so that happened. I came in on the Sunday after I weighed in. I had to do a PT, and I'm like, this dude's trying to talk to me about this PT, and I'm like, in a whole nother world. I'm like, I've got so much more things I have to manage. Because at that point, that was Sunday. I was meant to drive down to Melbourne following Friday, pick my girlfriend up, and when we're moving out on that Saturday, we'll get keys to our new place. So I'm halfway through trying to logistically figure out how I'm gonna have to move out and that. And then keep it a secret, and then by I think Tuesday, contracts got signed, and then by that Thursday, the fight was actually properly announced for it. And then I had that 1 week of training, and then it was that Sunday, instead of moving out, I moved into my house on Saturday, and then Sunday I was up at the Hilton for my fight week for my UFC debut.
Unbelievable. So this is a perfect example for anybody listening, right? Like for young fighters, bro, if you guys are on the cusp,
yes,
you got to stay ready.
Stay ready, exactly right.
Stay ready, bro. This is a prime example of why
definitely.
you always have to be ready, because you never know when opportunity calls.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I hear the same thing because it happens in comedy a lot too now that I'm doing comedy, but like the opportunities always come when you think you're not ready. You know, that's how life kind of, it's almost like how God challenges you. You know?
Well, that's what I mean. Like if you would have asked me after that sparring session, I'm like, fuck, I'm like 5-6 fights away from UFC after that session. But then like, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, I'm ready. Oh, let's go fight. It's just that mental switch.
And then you get so that's interesting. The Tapurias, I wonder what made because it was in Sydney.
It was in Sydney, and so
they probably already thinking, oh, Volk's got a teammate there.
Oh, what happened?
How do they know about you? Like,
they just looked on Tapology, and they just went, and I was the #1 bantamweight in the country. They didn't even know
that you were Volk's teammate.
No, they had no idea. They just saw me.
I thought they were trying to do like
No, they
just called you because you're #1.
Yeah.
And then it's just more, and then it just makes it even better. They're like, oh, this is an even better story.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, that was a fucking great fight, bro.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
It was an amazing fight. So so you get the call, man.
Yeah.
Like you wait your whole life for this moment, man.
Yeah, it was pretty much. It was almost everything I thought it would be. It was obviously a little bit more due to the scale of it. Like it wasn't like, oh, I've got him the contender. I won my contender. Now I'm fighting an 8 best card. It's like, no, you're in a pay-per-view in your country, like an hour up from where you live. You're fighting your
rival, like a teammate rival.
Teammate rivalry.
That's
you're fighting his older brother.
Extra for the debut, bro. That's a crazy debut.
Yeah, like it was probably like storyline was probably one of the most like hyped sort of storyline debuts UFC's had in like a fair few years, sort of thing, where you have like this built-in narrative behind it, the rivalry, and even just like on the media side of things, because like people are like, oh, we're sick of people saying, oh, it's like Volk Tapura. I was like, no, like it's fucking great. Like only reason people are speaking so much about this is because what Volk and them have already done, sort of thing. So I'm like, if I can like stand on the shoulder of giants in that aspect, like it's just better for me. It just helps me get my brand, my name, and everything out there as well. Yeah, because some people, they want to like branch off, like, oh, I'm my own person, but you're like, no, fuck it, this is good, you know? Like, oh man. And then when has the UFC ever had two champions cornering against each other? You know? With cornering two debutantes as well.
And he was his debut too.
It was his debut as well.
Okay, so you both had the nerve. Did you feel the UFC jitter nerves? How was that deal?
I did, but I think because the weight cut was real hard. Like, so I cut weight pretty well the whole fight week. I was tracking really well. And then it was the Friday night, because I normally always train the night before and I get most of my weight off that way. So I think I woke up with only a kilo. I went to bed only a kilo and a bit to go. I was talking to my missus before sleep. I'm like, I'm just going to roll over, go to bed now. It was like 11 o'clock. And I remember I rolled over and it was like 11:06 and I looked at the clock. And from that point on, it was just downhill. Like, I didn't sleep. We were in one of the UFC proper weight cut rooms. So they had the heater on. It was probably like 40 degrees in the room. I was doing everything. It probably took me like an hour and a bit just to even be to sweat. Like, I was just so dry because I cut so much, my body just couldn't start to sweat. So I remember I made the weight. It was like, I actually don't remember much of it because it was just like so cooked of me. I just remember Bella and Joe helped, like, carried me up to the room sort of thing. And then I had 2 hours before weigh-ins and I just spent 2 hours on the shower floor, just butt naked. I'd like, Bella, turn the shower on. And she's like, turn the shower on. I'm like, oh, turn it off and drag me into the tiles. And it's just like that. Like, I was just overheated and just ruined sort of thing.
Yo, it's the weight cutting, right? It's like, yo, fighting, if you could just go and fight every Friday, you know,
bro.
maybe we can have 100 fights. It's just that weight cut, yo.
Yeah.
What do we do about that, man? What can be done? Can anything be done, or like, do we just, that's what it is?
I actually think about this a fair bit and I'm like, I don't think we have, the thing is, like, I think what we're doing now is probably the best way that we probably could be doing it. Like, I haven't heard anybody else present a reasonable thing where it's like, oh no, that actually makes sense. Like, that's a better idea. Like, even as you would know with one, like, it's like, just fucking drink more, hold your piss, and just
that's
ruin
one is
yourself.
retarded. Yeah, bro. They think, oh, one is like, bro, I'm pretty sure my bladder's ruined because I'm fucking holding my piss for 15 hours before a weigh-in.
Weight cut, exactly,
you know?
right.
So it's like, it's just a more retarded weight cut.
And then people are like, oh, just fight at your natural weight. And it's like, but people won't. People are still going to try and game the system. They're always going to look for the edge. As soon as you go to elite sports, if there's anywhere where someone can get a 1 or 2% advantage, they're going to like exploit it.
Yeah, and once the money's involved too.
Exactly right. Or like weighing in before, all right, you're either going to have a dude who's 77 kilos natural, or you're going to get someone who's cut a couple of kilos, but because he's so much bigger, he's going to be all right. Or someone's cut to make it and they're going to go in more dehydrated. It's going to be even worse for brain injuries and things like that. So it's I don't know. I've listened to a lot of like smart people like Jordy, and he have his podcast. They talk about it. I haven't heard someone with like a better sort of formula for it yet, sort of thing.
Yeah, but at least I feel like, you've had pretty good weight cuts come. Like,
definitely.
I mean, at least you've done it pretty much the right way to our knowledge for as long. You know what I mean? Like, you had always Volk's weight cuts before you.
Or when I was an amateur, I definitely didn't. So I talk pretty openly about this. So I destroyed my testosterone before I had my first pro fight on the back of my amateur career. So basically, like, what I was doing is I just got my fitness pal and I'd eat like 1,200 calories a day for 8 weeks, which is like, someone's like, oh, that's not too bad, your body can recover. I understand that, but add in how much training, 4 hours a day, it's like, okay, that's a bit worse. But then, like, what most people didn't know is like, I was working nights as well. So because I was an amateur, I had no money. So it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, I'd work security. I'd normally work from like a 9 p.m. to a 3 a.m. So not only in that 4 days a week, I'm getting 3-4 hours sleep. So I was killing, like, people say burn the candle at both ends. I was like over the fucking candle with a blowtorch. Yeah, no sleep, no food, overtrain, and just, this was for like probably a year straight when I was trying to fight, and just really sort of cooks myself that way.
Yeah, because the sleep, man, and recovery is so important, you know? Yeah. And when you're sore, it's already hard to sleep when you're training all day long. And then you're gonna go train and then go work a night shift and then come in early morning for a spider. So you're working till 3 in the morning and then sometimes coming in and doing spider at 9.
I remember there was one sparring session where I did a 7 p.m. at a bar till 12, then had to go finish up at a club. And so when I finished up at the club, they had to count my pokies and that. So I left there at 4:30. I got home at 5. I maybe got 2 hours of sleep and then had to come spar. And I just remember I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, my body is just so ruined. Like, on the back of 3 night shifts before that, like, it was just rough. It's like, I look back on it now, because now I have one bad night of like 6 hours sleep. I was like, oh, like, this is so fine compared to what I used to. It's sort of like helped me get through that adversity now. But yeah, looking back, I'm like, fuck, it would be just like, I can't emphasize enough like how important like sleep is, especially for like amateurs who are like, oh, I won a couple of fights, I'll go out Friday night, come sparring or whatever, I was partying. I was like, no, like get your sleep. Like it's so crucial for you.
Yeah, and then nowadays too, it's even harder because like, yo, the socials, man. For me, it's hard to even. I'm a grown ass adult, and I'm like on Instagram like a fucking child.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how 18, 16-year-old, 7-year-old kids like.
Yeah, when they've been indoctrinated since they were 5 years old, chucked in front of an iPad.
Yo, that's another one too, right? Like, man, I know there's a lot of factors coming against us. Like, it's weird. Like, we live in the easiest time of society.
Yes.
But it's the easiest for everything, but that means it's the hardest on the physical.
Yes.
Because I feel like back in the day, it was so much easier to just get hard work done and focus, you know,
Yep.
because we didn't have all the distractions.
Yep.
If you want a distraction, you watch TV with the commercials. Now it's like YouTube, Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Even when I try to upload one of these puppies, you know how much fucking distractions it takes?
Yep.
Like, you gotta like lock out.
Yeah.
You know? So
it's crazy too, because it made like, I always think it's like made people like a lot softer with it, because I see people like, oh, I can't, like they want to go for a run. They're like, all right, well, I have to get my good sleep, I have to hit my pre-workout, have a good breakfast, have the right music on, and I can go for a run. And it's like, what have happened to just waking up, even if you get like, I did so many hard sessions of like 2 hours sleep and a black coffee and just go and get it done. Like it's just like world's gone soft a bit with it.
yeah, for sure, man. Especially when you like, bro, when you're cutting weight. I know like back in the day, I used to eat a salad before bed. A salad and chicken. That was like my weight cutting
Try and just
meal.
fill your stomach up so don't go to bed hungry.
Yeah, and then wake up, and I used to like waking up and just be like, I just want to be skinny. I was like, hope I'm light, you know what I mean? So, oh man, that's a trip, bro. Now after your second UFC fight, now you had a proper camp, full notice and everything, right?
Yeah, yes.
Where was this fight at?
That was in Perth.
Oh, so you had 2 fights on home soil.
Yeah, Perth, yeah.
Perth was a little earlier, right? Oh, what time you had to fight mad early, huh?
Yeah, Perth's good as like a fight place, but I was still on the prelims, so that meant I fought around, I think 8 a.m. sort of thing.
You had a wild career, dog. Hold on a second, bro. Right before you're about to go pro, COVID era.
Yes.
Right? Then you're fighting, and all your UFC fights have been early morning fights.
Yeah, but Sydney's not bad though, because you weigh in Friday. I didn't fight till Sunday. So I had that bad weight cut, but I was starting to recover. Like I felt fine after it.
Damn, if you're gonna have a bad weight cut,
Sydney's the place, definited the place.
You're gonna come heavy.
Fuck, bro.
Oh, what's that one again?
6 a.m. So I weighed in at 6 a.m. and then I got picked up the next morning, I think at 5 a.m.
Wait, you weighed in 6 a.m. Saturday?
Saturday, and I got picked up 5 a.m. by UFC shuttle.
So you only get 24 hours for the Perth card?
Yeah.
How come Perth, they do weigh-ins?
Because they had a young girl die over there, and they're super strict with their commission.
Oh, so that's just the commissions
rules, yeah. But it's like shit. So I cut weight the night before, and I weighed, like, because I had so much notice. Like I cut weight pretty good now because I'm with Jordan. Like I smashed it. Like so it was Perth. All I did was I did 3 rounds of pads in layers, jumped on the like spin bike for an hour, listened to techno, and just jumped in towels for like 10 minutes, got 300 grams off weight. Went to bed. Obviously I got like barely any sleep, but I was like, okay, because I can just walk down to the scales the next morning. So I was first on the scales, weighed in, and then I went upstairs, and as soon as I started drinking, not bad, but I just passed out in bed because like I had no sleep and I finally got fluids. And I woke up like an hour and a half later, and now I've had like 400 mils of train aid, and I'm like, fuck, I've got to fight in 22 hours now. So I'm smashing water, trying to catch up, which you never should, like mess my guts up and that.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah,
bro.
and then so I ended up going to bed at like 10, and I ended up waking up at like 4 a.m. the next morning, because I had to be up at 5. And I remember I just woke up that day, and it was one of them days where I was like, I opened this blog, like I could not think of anything worse than to fight. Like it felt like I was like, I'm just so out of it.
And not only fight, it's not like you got to fight tonight in a couple hours.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so out of it. I feel no motivation. Like I felt flat, and I'm like, it's just gonna be one of them days sort of thing. Even like getting to the arena and that, I'm just like, almost just not like a fever dream, but more like a daze where I'm just like going through emotions sort of things. I'm trying to et myself up and that. And then I went out, and I had a lot of nerves going into that fight because I signed a contract with the Taporo fight, but they were very, very blunt about the fact like, hey, if he doesn't win, like, that's it sort of thing. Like, we need him to beat, because they didn't like how Taporo got in through his brother. So it was like, so after that first Sydney fight, after I lost, I thought I was going to get cut straight away.
They told you that? They did? Bro, it was short notice. How the fuck?
Yeah, but they're like, they didn't say that, but I remember Volk, because when he spoke to Sean, he's like, they've just emphasized you need to win. Like, they don't care if you take him down, hold him 15 minutes, like, you'd have to win this fight. So then when I lost, I was like, fuck. And then I remember we were out at the Crown for dinner, And then Joe just like, oh, everybody will give Colby like a round of applause. And like, I was happy, not happy with how everything went. I'm like, hey, I made my debut against an elite guy. Like, it is what it is. I'll just go back, fight 3 fights regional, get signed to contender, get back here. And then Joe did like a little announcement. He's like, oh, I just want to let everybody know that Sean was super impressed with Colby and they're going to give him another fight. So I was like, fuck yes, for a relief. But then after that, I had all that external pressure. I was like, fuck, they're going to cut me after one. Like, I can't lose this one.
Now you're going into your second fight.
Yeah.
So it's
Even
just
more
pressure though.
Now it's like, oh, now it's a full camp. They're expecting all this. I just got I got a couple new good sponsorship deals, like a car and that. And then in my head, like I should have, and I just kept in. I'm like, if I do lose this, I'm like, does that mean I'm going to lose this sponsorship? That, like, am I just 3 steps back now? So I went in there and I felt it right in the first round. I took him down. But then I got him in mount, and like I never ever do this. And I'm like, in my head, like I wasn't even fighting to like, I was fighting just to win, but not even fighting to fight in a sense. Where I was like, in my head, like I know I wasn't throwing hard ground and pound shots. So I'm like, if I just punch him enough and he can't get up, the ref has to stop it. But the ref could obviously see that I wasn't trying to actually hurt him. I was just trying to give a fight stop, so it didn't stop. So I ended up gassing myself out in the first round. And I remember I was like this after the first round, Joe's like, I'm like, yeah, and in my head, I'm like, I look up and I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be a hard 10 minutes. Yeah. And like, it fucking was. I like rallied in the third and got it done. And then after that, I won. And I was like, almost like, I wasn't even happy that I won. Like I went out the back, I had like busted leg, got stitches. And Casey with me ended up just crying. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I wasn't even sad. I was like, I'm just so fucking relieved. Yeah. I was like, thank God this is all over. And like, I can just like mentally clear and everything for next. And like all the weight and all the pressure sort of just off my shoulders for the next. And I can just like go out and fight. There's no like external noise or anything with it now.
Yeah, for sure. And so second fight in UFC, what are like weight lifted off your shoulder?
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
Because usually when you take a short notice debut, it's kind of like a gimme, right? That's what most guys come in there like, oh, it's like they're playing with free money. I always felt like, you know? But this one they gave you, that was weird. Yo, UFC, they be a little bit funny, right? The way they be talking to you guys sometimes, right?
Bro,
like,
yeah,
oh,
bro.
like, what do you mean? Like, oh, you better finish this guy. Like, bro, I'm taking this fight on 2 weeks notice. Suck a dick, bro.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, yeah, like
what I'm on about?
I'm sacrificed. No, like,
and a
I would
gun.
always
You
say
fought
yes.
a gun too. You fought like a top prospect.
Yeah,
bro.
like the fucking world champ's older brother who's fucking been training fighters since he was JP.
Yeah.
Wasn't like it was some guy who was also some guy just 6-0 contender that's trying to fill a spot. Like a very very high level guy to come out against a debut again.
Yeah, because some of these contender guys I'm a little bit sus about. You know what I mean? A lot of can crushers go through there, just
exactly
rip
right.
through people, and then they're like, you know what I mean? I feel like the contender series is a little bit easier than the Ultimate Fighter route, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. Yep, definitely.
So now anything planned? You got anything? They talked to anybody coming up fights now?
Nothing yet. So I was originally going to try and hopefully get on obviously the Sydney card for next weekend, but not funny enough, but I ended up coming out of that fight pretty injury free. But I was down in the athlete's hotel, and because I copped a couple of calf kicks, I was on crutches just to sort of help it heal so I could like not weight bear. And then I remember I was on the couch and I went to get up off the couch and I went to weight bear and I sort of rolled and I smashed my knee forward and I smashed my knee just here on like the edge of like a table in the lobby, and my knee swelled up to like half a tennis ball with it.
Oh my God.
I was like, fuck, I was like, this hurts, but I had like, my calf was swollen, had stitches in my leg, and I didn't think that much of it. So then my shin ended up healing and I ended up coming back to grappling. And I just couldn't grapple, like I couldn't even kneel in bed for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I was chatting to my physios and like, oh, I think you might have just ruptured a bursa due to the swollen and everything. And after about another week, I was like, boys, like I'm not here to tell you your job like that, but like I've had bursas before and like I don't think this is it. Like, yeah, 4 weeks, hasn't healed whatsoever, it's a bit sus. I went and got an MRI. Like 60% of my knee was just white with blood. It was just like a massive bone bruise. And so I remember it was Sunday before I got the MRI, I think on a Tuesday. So Sunday before I ran 30 Ks because I could run and everything on, but I just couldn't kneel. Monday I came in, like I ran yesterday, put a knee pad on, grappled, fucking painful as, but I'm like, just take anti-inflammatory, it was a burst, it'll go away. Tuesday MRI, Wednesday I saw the results and I was like, oh, and like this might take 12 to 14 weeks to heal. Because what would happen, because it was so bruised and that any movement, they were worried I would have fractured my knee because it just got weaker and weaker and one bad impact. So probably only about what are we in, January? Probably towards the start of December, I was able to come back to full training. before that it was probably 8 to 10 weeks of just boxing training, bike and stuff like that. I just wasn't able to do anything due to me, which is obviously why I wasn't able to try and back up for the Sydney card.
You must have been going crazy, huh?
Yeah.
I know you want to train all day, every day.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad though, because I've had some injuries before. Like I've broken my back, I've torn my knee. Like I've had quite.
I was gonna say you've had some.
I've had some adversity.
Had a long road of,
exactly.
It's been a long road to get
here. Yeah,
for
so
you,
as long as they said I can ride a bike and I can box, like I'm pretty happy. Like I did a fight camp. I tore my calf for first day of fight camp. So I spent 6 weeks right there on an assault bike, looking at that board because I had my opponent's name there, and I just did like 3 hours a day of just assault bike sessions, just a whole fight camp. Just like a fight sort of thing. So I was like, if I can do a bike and box and spar, like I'm pretty happy sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? You've taken fights on like shitty camps where like you're injured and stuff. You know, sometimes it's crazy, right? Like you have like the worst camp and then you have the best fight.
Best fight, exactly right.
And sometimes you come in like, I'm ready, and then it's like you're gassed after 3 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
Well, that's the thing. I had the perfect preparation and everything for Perth. Like all my score markers are best they've been, body comp, everything was. And after 3 minutes, like I just died in the ass. I was like, what is like? Does it mean you can have a perfect prep?
What is fighting? It's just fucked. It's
crazy
sport.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dog. I feel you. Same thing. And I've had fights where like I have like a staff where I can't wrestle and like or I hurt my knee or my shoulder and I don't wrestle all camp and then I do 38 takedowns in the fight. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then sometimes you do one takedown. You're like,
oh, lungs are burning now. Yeah, my arms are cooked.
It's such a weird one, right? There's so many factors to play in to explain to people, you know. So now getting ready. So you've been helping the boys get ready. So waiting now. So you're just waiting on a call. You were saying.
Yeah. So we've reached out to them, and now it's just more like they'll call you when they want you, sort of thing.
But you're looking good, man. I've been seeing you now training, getting the boys ready. How's it been having people don't know, right? We've had a little bit of a change of pace for you guys in the freestyle gym, right? You've had the Brazilian boys pull up. Is this the first time having the Brazilian team here?
Yes, correct. It is. Yeah, definitely.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it's been unreal, to be honest. Like it's been. That's the one thing when I got told I couldn't fight in Sydney. I was like, that's like, it sucks because I love to share a car with the boys, but it also means like this time period, like having all these great minds here, like your Craigs, Brad, Frankie, everybody. If I'm in fight camp, they could show me the best technique ever. They might show me this really cool setup, but if I'm fighting a southpaw, it might not be applicable. So I'm like, fuck, that's sick. I can't do it. Craig shows me something awesome on the ground. That's cool, but I can't be on the bottom. Frankie shows me this, I'm like, this defense, I'm like, oh, but I'm trying to offensively wrestle. So it would have limited how much my ability to actually take in with these boys here if I had to worry about myself. So it's been lucky because I haven't had to fight, is I can just ask Craig, hey, I get stuck here, what is this? Or Brad, I've been trying to do this, can you help me with this? So I've just been able to be a sponge these past 8 weeks since Volk's been in camp. So I just felt like my game's just exponentially
growing. Because when you're in camp, it's like, what's the game plan? You're just doing the game plan.
Exactly right, day in, day out.
You know, like, yo, I'm shooting. These are the takedowns. I'm drilling these positions.
Yep.
But now, you can utilize them outside of camp. Which is amazing. And I've been seeing you moving, looking good, bro. And you've been getting some rounds in with Rufy, right? Helping him get ready.
Yep.
Which is, bro, what more can you ask for? Because that's a 55er, 2 weight classes above. Super dynamic striker,
right? Fucking dangerous, scary man to spar.
Your heart be beating, huh? You be like, oh, bro, I get nervous watching you. I know, bro. That shit is like, hell.
We were sparring and he threw a punch and it missed me, and like we both threw our hands and he slipped and he missed and he still said sorry because like it would have just cleaned me up, and I was like, it's okay, like. If I got hit by that, I wouldn't have felt it. I would have just been knocked out. It's all good. Wouldn't have hurt. I would have been asleep.
That's what people don't know, right? Like the best part about being knocked out is you don't feel anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's way worse getting leg kicked
or a body shot or something.
Oh,
mate.
Body shot.
Yeah. And then you're like, I can't get down because I look like a pussy, but every single instinct in my body is telling me to go down.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And then like the cardio too. And then like when somebody hits you in the body, now your hands are like this. Now you're so scared, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get cracked in the head.
Yeah. Even when we sparred, I remember I did like 5 rounds in a row. And then Rufy sparred Volk for his first round. And I was ready just to call it a day. I'm like 5 hard rounds in a row. And then Rufy's like, Colby will spar. And I'm like, so I'm in my 6th round and he went from Volk to me.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I wasn't doing great, but like I was just like defending, doing my own sort of thing as much as I could with the size discrepancy being
it's a big size, a little
exactly
bit of
right.
Difference.
But then I remember he hit me with a body shot like his boom. And then Joe's like, move. And in my head I'm like, I can't even fucking breathe. Why are you telling me to move? Like, let me stay here and show and just try and clinch. And afterwards he's like, you stopped moving halfway through a round. I was like, Joe, I was so close to just falling over.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay
I'm just trying to survive here.
Yeah. I'm just trying not to hit the ground, dog. Yeah, sometimes when those body shots hit, you're just like, I'm just recovering, you know?
Yeah,
you gotta keep that poker face, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no, nothing happened. Like,
I remember he hit me and he like smiled because he knew, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I look at the clock like this, and I'm like, oh, still 2 minutes. It's gonna be a long 2 minutes here.
Yeah, but hey, man, it's a good place for a fight camp though, right? I mean,
Right.
how's the cold? It gets cold out here because the weather in the summer is nice.
During winter, it does get pretty cold, but like we're still pretty lucky. Like it's not like Melbourne or anything, so like compared to probably Miami and that, it does get pretty cold here. But even like Thailand will get cold comparatively. But like you come in like tights, long sleeve, you sweat pretty quick and that sort of thing.
And you don't do you surf?
I can surf, but I normally bodyboard.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just lay down on that.
Yeah, bodyboard's chill. I like bodyboarding.
Yeah,
Let's go bodyboarding before we leave.
Well, my thing is like if we went out to a beach, I could surf, but as soon as it gets big or decent, like I'm not at that ability. And I was just bodyboarding growing up, sort of thing. So as soon as the waves get any good, I'm like, I'm not gonna try and learn to surf. I'll just jump on my bodyboard and go out.
Yeah, and it's just as fun, right?
Bro, so much fun.
But you bodyboard closer to the ocean, right? Like surfers go out more, no?
No, we normally go to the same spots. So
go to the same spots?
we're real lucky here. We have a lot of good reef breaks.
Okay, that's what it is. Right?
Yeah, just a reef. So just off a rocks and that. And that plus, like I'm like fighting's my career. Like I can't try to, if it's 6 foot surf out, I can't try and learn to surf.
Yeah.
I'll roll like anything happen, or at least on my bodyboard, I've done it long enough where I know like my level and my ability where I know I can still go out, have fun in big surf and be safe sort of thing. But if I try surfing like half the size of a bodyboard, I'd probably just axe myself.
Yeah, that's the thing about surfing, and like that I noticed it's pretty challenging. Like it's tough. It's a whole nother workout within itself, you know. But when you're fighting and shit, the thing is like, at least for me, like when you fight, like we do enough extreme. That's enough extreme for me. I like after fighting, I like to do chill shit, you know.
Yeah. Well, even that,
maybe a trail or something. I like running trails and stuff.
Yeah. Well, even like you surf and like you fall over, you might cut yourself in a reef and you need stitches. Now, fuck, what if this gets staffed
and
before
then you
I
can't
fight?
train.
Exactly right. Yeah. So it's just like trying to risk mitigate. So I do a lot of hiking and things like that, but that's still pretty obviously like safe and that. Like worth like a couple of grazes and shit
that's the stuff I like to do. Like now, like if I'm not fighting, like especially in Thailand, I do hiking, jogging. Awesome. Like I love mountains and stuff like this. But extreme shit, I try not to do.
Yeah.
I remember I got into mountain biking a lot.
Oh fuck.
It was so much fun. But bro, I crashed once and then I can't train jiu-jitsu because I got road rash. You know. So I switched to road bike.
Yeah. Fair.
When I was trying to be a Diaz brother, when I first started training, I was a vegan. Riding bike and I was mad skinny and smoking weed, riding bike and doing jiu-jitsu like a Diaz brother, you know? But as a vegan, bro, my body, like I felt like good cardio, but I just felt weak, you know? Yeah.
A lot of people say that actually.
When I started eating meat, people thought I was taking steroids. My body just changed, bro. Like my veins, I was getting like mad muscular, you know? And I felt like good on side control, you know?
Fuck yeah, feel heavy.
But yeah, when I moved to Thailand, I went back to the meat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's super important when you're doing hard training and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. You need like the red blood cells and all the like some amino acids in the red
exactly.
meat.
I can appreciate like someone's vegan. I'm like, go for it, but if like don't try and convert me. Like if you want to convert me, come do what I do for 6 months and see if you can do it.
Yeah. 100%. You need the especially I think for MMA we need the energy. You need the power, the force. You know.
Spot on.
But man, you know what I realized there's UFC this weekend.
Yes.
What are you thinking, Gaethje and
Patty?
Who's Gaethje and Patty is the main event, right? What do you like on that fight?
I think Patty.
Patty?
Yeah, I think Gaethje's takedowns defense is like maybe a bit, not that it's overrated, but I just don't think it's enough. Like I think Patty gets him down once, and I've seen Patty before. I was there when Patty beat Chandler, so I saw him backstage I think after a fight. Like he's a real big lightweight. He's super strong.
I noticed that too. Miami,
he's
big.
Unit,
bro.
And I think if he gets Gaethje down, even if he gets Gaethje down and Gaethje like scrambles, I think it's Patty can jump his back or catch him in a triangle or something like that off it.
I don't think Gaethje does jiu-jitsu.
No.
I don't think he's ever done jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
You got I mean, I know it's Habib, but you still got mounted. You got triangle mounted like a white belt.
Yeah, like that.
Like in 2 seconds.
Yep.
You know, and then who else? But and everybody else has been good matches for him. Strikers,
but even like Fiziev was able just to catch his leg kicks and run through him. So I feel like if Patty just catch one calf kick, run through and gets on top, like I don't see Gaethje getting up.
And I think Kabaddi's a little bit, and he's not like a jiu-jitsu guy who's relying on jiu-jitsu. Like he can also catch it in the scramble. Like 'cause he likes to bang and shit. And he was really banging out hard with Chandler. He was throwing heavy kicks.
Yeah, real long and heavy kicks though.
So I had a theory. I think Kabaddi's jiu-jitsu is so good, he can be really open and free on the strike.
He's like, catch my kick and take you down.
Yes,
come in my
he throws
guard.
a lot of like flying knees and shit. I think he can be real free fighting because he's not worried about getting
Get
taken
on the
down.
bottom. Exactly
Because he got that really good jiu-jitsu style, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, Patty's kind of won me over.
Definitely.
He's a good lad. And I like the walkout, got me hyped. When you see a fighter live, you know, like when they come out to a good song or something, then I kind of cheer for them, you know?
That was good vibes.
But you know what I like about this fight? I like Volk against either of them too.
Bro, yes.
I think Volk at lightweight is still a bro. People are forgetting.
100%.
And you know what? If Tapoya doesn't want to go down to featherweight again, we can get it back at lightweight.
Exactly right.
Honestly, that might be a better fight for Volk at lightweight because he'll have more fucking power and more cushion for the pushing.
Yep, don't have to cut as much and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Because the cutting, and then I think that definitely has like a little bit, you know?
I mean, definitely.
For sure, man. Because I know when I used to fight at bantamweight, the punches would feel different than featherweight.
Yep.
So there's something there for sure. But yeah, I like Volk for either of those guys,
Bro,
you know?
definitely. Especially like a Patty.
Volk, Patty, great fight, dog.
I favor Volk, like against 45, 55. Like any grappler, I'm like, good no. Like it's like, oh, he's a 45. I'm like, yeah, but look, even if you look at Islam and everybody he's fought, who's gave him the hardest fight? A 45 of Volk. Coming up. Yeah.
45 Volk can be champion 55 Volk if he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
Since the beginning.
Yeah,
I think he could have never, he could have gone his whole career 55.
Definitely.
He just would have, I think he still would have been as strong because he just wouldn't have been that, he wouldn't have got his weight down to 78.
Exactly right.
He would have just been like 82.
80s and hang there.
He can keep those legs even bigger, you know?
Yeah, the tree shrugs.
All right, so we're 2 weeks out. You're balls deep in camp. I'm sure you're gonna be happy when this camp is over just as much as the boys.
Yes, give my body a bit of a break.
Your body can take a break.
Yes.
You've been getting mounted and trying to hold these guys down for the last 3 weeks, man. So, and now we're looking for Sydney, right?
Yes.
We got big card for you guys. You got Malarkey training right now. You've been helping Malarkey get ready. I've been seeing you've been like a key part in his camp.
Yes.
You got Rufy. You guys been working a lot together.
Yeah,
and you got Volk. So
yes.
You got a lot invested coming
Yeah,
up.
bro. Yeah, I'm actually cornering Rufy.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah.
That's so dope, bro.
Yeah, they asked me to, so I'm fucking
I cannot
stoked
wait.
for that.
This is gonna be great to hear what you're gonna say.
I'm just gonna have to learn a little bit of Portuguese, yeah.
They should just have the Brazilian guy stay out and just have the Aussie come in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Get up, cunt.
just ping the cunt. Ping him.
Hips, on his head.
Oh, that's gonna be sick, man.
Yeah.
Have you cornered Volk? No,
I've never cornered in the UFC.
Have you cornered UFC?
Never cornered UFC.
So you're gonna get a package. So you haven't got you haven't had your suit. You haven't got
I've got my own, but never
you got
anybody
your
else's.
own.
Yeah, but never anywhere else's. So I'm like, I'm stoked.
And it'll be less stressful. Cornering is like less stressful than fighting.
Exactly,
You know?
yeah. And against Fazeev, I'm like, hopefully it's just a striking fight.
This is a crazy fight.
It is a crazy
bro.
fight, yeah.
And I've never trained with Rufy, you know, but we're hanging out now. He's a fucking great dude. But
Top
honestly,
dude.
everybody in the UFC is pretty top, though.
Yeah,
like, all
bro,
the guys
yeah.
we know, when you get to that level, to get to that level, you already got to be a pretty decent.
Yeah, well, look,
lad,
yeah,
you know?
Jamie fought Volk, Rufy, and Brad. Yeah, Brad and Jamie fought, and like it's just, and now all four of them are here training together.
Oh, that's right. I never even thought about that. I forgot.
It's like a square. They've all, there's connections between all of them fighting, and that is wild.
Malarkey's fought them all, bro.
Yeah.
And then Volk is but I guess it was cool with Rufy being here after the Gene Silva loss. But I think if Gene Silva would have beat
Yeah, it would have
Diego,
been very different, yep.
He would have been like, hey, you stay over there,
you stay
dog.
away. Yeah. But like you said, he's like such a fucking nice dude.
Yeah, he's a good lad, man.
Yeah.
And then in the main event, how you liking the rematch with Lopez, bro?
Bro, like obviously we won't get into too much, but I'm sure.
We can't say much,
but
bro.
I'm sure you agree with me. How he's been going, if that happens there, I think it's done inside 3.
Yeah, what I always tell
very
people,
comfortably inside 3. Yeah, does it.
yeah, and I look at it like this. I'm like, look, not for nothing, but Volk dominated that fight. I mean, you're talking about 1 minute of the fight that I think Lopez.
Well, not even like 2, 3, even that. And I watched the fight back. Second round, he clipped Volk off the kick, like overhand, like come down with that right hand, back up, Volk swinging back away. All right, he had 10 seconds with a drop.
That's
and
what I'm saying. I think he still won the fight, right?
He still won that round,
right?
He won that round, yeah. And then 4th round, he had an uppercut and that, and we got his eye. So maybe that was dragged out because it was an extra minute.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, 24 minutes versus a minute.
And not for nothing, that was the most that was gonna be your chance.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna get like a vulnerable Volk, like
Yeah.
because that had to be a lot of pressure. Like you can
Yeah.
imagine like what he's thinking
Yeah.
going into that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly,
But I
yeah.
think now he's gonna be a little bit more back to his normal form.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
where he's gonna be back. He's
Yeah.
back. You know, 'cause he had a lot of
Well,
questions.
even
he had to
some of the
answer for
stuff with
himself.
like that fight week, which was going with like some of the like infections and things like that, which people don't even know about, bro.
Oh,
Like,
that's right. I forgot about that. He came in with
two, bro. No, it's an armpit, bro. And then popping it fucking the day before the fight, like. Yeah, like you see when his arm and that, and then obviously the massive layoff, dropping all the weight again and things like that. So I was like, yeah, if Diego can't do that, then like I don't know what he's gonna do and how Volk's been this fucking camp and like what he's doing gameplay wise and training wise. Like I mean he's gonna be like, oh shit, this dude's fucking 37 and still doing this.
Yeah. I hate rematches, but rematch Volk is a problem.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's
I agree.
go.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, brother, we're about to run out of battery and time, but man, UFC Sydney coming up. Stay tuned. So we're looking like March release. You want to fight in Vegas, or you always want to do? You want to?
No. I want to fight overseas. Vegas is like second priority because obviously I've been there so much with everybody else. I want to go fight like anywhere else, like Europe or somewhere like that, even China or somewhere.
No, March, bro. April, Miami. Let's
We're on
go.
April, Miami.
Miami is always April.
Yeah.
You gotta hit
Let's
him.
push for it.
You gotta let him know, bro.
Boys are good in Miami.
That's what
The
I'm
boys
saying,
are good in
dog.
Miami.
Yes, bro. We do good in Miami,
Yes.
bro. We got the title back in Miami.
Fucking oath.
The best thing ever was watching the song Land Down Under
Then under come through.
and seeing my hometown people go fucking
Nuts
crazy,
for it,
bro.
yeah.
That was like one of the best things ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The crowd ovation when that song came on, and when it hits next Sunday,
Bro, it's got,
oh my God, the
Goosebumps,
hairs
yes.
are gonna be like.
exactly.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much, friend. Kobe, I appreciate
brother,
the time,
appreciate it,
brother.
brother. Thank
This
you.
is long overdue, but
It
when I get you on
definitely
the
is.
potty for a long time,
Fuck
you know what
yeah,
I'm
brother.
saying? And this is just a start. Volk's, I think my most guest on. I think I've had him on 4 times.
Yeah.
He'll be my most thing guest, but we're gonna be getting you all the way up to the title, baby.
I'm gonna catch some numbers.
Yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
bro?
definitely.
We got young, and then we're gonna a lot of. So we're gonna try to keep this momentum going,
Done,
brother.
brother.
And
Definitely.
I know one day we're gonna be having this chat before your #1 contender title
Fucking
fight.
oath,
So
bro.
let's
I appreciate
fucking
that,
do
man.
this.
Thanks for having me on, Emily.
Let the people know where they can find you. What's going on?
Yeah, just all my socials, just Colby, Slickness, Thickness, Instagram, YouTube, getting all that stuff up and running, and super keen for what 2026 is going to bring.
Cannot wait. Thank you so much for the time,
Over,
brother.
brother.
Honey
Thank you,
Badger Hour, we are